Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe Class Crashbar from the Transformers Legacy Evolution line from Hasbro. So this is our second Junkion, the first one being Scrap Hook from Wave 1. And I think he looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited for this guy. Packaging, really beautiful artwork here on the front. We have the vehicle mode, and then over here we have some really cool artwork of his robot mode. And then over on this side we just have that, half of the standard Evolution pick. But this is the side that has all the Junkion, so I feel like that's very fitting to be on his packaging. Not really anything going on the bottom. Up here you have the QR code for the tech specs. And then spinning it around to the back, we have some nice product shots of the robot mode and the vehicle mode. And then, of course, this one actually has an Evo Fusion gimmick because he's like a weaponizer where he comes all apart and you can make various different things. They seem to want to connect him in vehicle mode to Scrap Hook, to just make like a ridiculous Junkion vehicle mode. So there is that. But yeah, pretty standard packaging, but I think this guy looks really great. I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the box, and we're going to take a closer look. Here is Crashbar out of the packaging, and from the front, he just looks absolutely clean. I just really love the look of this robot mode. And honestly, the back of the torso as well really doesn't have any kibble. He's got the wheels back here on the back of the legs, but it's honestly not that big a deal. He does have heels, albeit in the weirdest way here with these like tire guards. It's fine, it works, it's functional. It's a little weird and kind of just has a lot going on back here. But honestly, I don't even care because from the front, he really just looks perfect. I love the color scheme. The head sculpt is absolutely amazing. You've got that handlebar mustache there with the little soul patch. He's got the horns, the red visor. That all just looks really, really cool. I like that a lot. A lot of nice paint here on the torso. Autobot symbol looks good. You have the headlights here, which kind of look like they have like texture to them, which is really cool. Got some asymmetrical horns going here, which is very befitting a Junkion. You got the flame decal here on the gas tank. Honestly, just a really, really cool looking figure. Now, he does have some accessories that we can kind of put on here to deck him out even further. So he's got these two kind of like, I don't know, what would you call these, I guess. This is kind of like an exhaust pipe, I guess. But you can go ahead and pop these on the back here. They peg into these two little spots. So I can't honestly decide if I like them better with or without these attached. They both look cool. But you can give him a little bit of extra flair there. And then he's got these two giant like thruster cannons. We can go ahead and plug these into his hands. And these are pretty cool, and they are blast effect compatible there. So he has got quite the arsenal here with these two giant cannons. So he is definitely decked out. Articulation-wise, the head is on a ball joint, so you can look down pretty far, look up very far. Certainly turn side to side, tilt side to side. Really nice range of motion there in the neck. You have a swivel here for the shoulder, so the shoulder pads do not go out to the side, but you can see inside you have a hinge so you can put the arms out to the side if you want to. You have a bicep swivel. You honestly get like 180 degrees in the elbow because of the transformation, which is kind of cool. So you can utilize all of that. And then you have a wrist swivel as well. You do have a waist swivel. Now I would assume, does this come apart? I'm trying to figure out exactly where the like weaponizer parts are, and usually you can take these guys apart at the waist, but I don't think you can for him. And okay, the arms do come out, so we have that. And I know that the legs pop out right about the knee. So you have a hinge here in the hip that you can kick pretty far out to the side, pretty far forward, pretty far back. Now, when you go to get the knee articulation, the wheel will kind of just roll up his back and give you the articulation that you need. So that is nice. This one, not as much, but you can just pull it back. So you can get knee articulation out of those even with the wheels in the way. And of course you have the thigh swivel there, really just because that's where that unpegs. It almost looks like there should be something up here as well, but I don't think there is. And then of course we have ankle tilt side to side. You have a little bit of rocking forward and back just because of how like they transform and move around. But you do get the ankle tilt there. So I really like the robot mode. I think, like I said, the legs are a little messy, but it's nothing that's not manageable. And I love the head sculpt, the chest, everything about that looks really, really cool to me. I really like the design overall. Definitely has a Junkion feel. And honestly, just a cool motorcycle transformer feel as well. So, yeah, I like this guy quite a bit. One other thing I did want to talk about, it's on the box, but it is nowhere in the directions. So I wanted to make sure to point it out. So you have this wheel here, and you can kind of pull this back a little bit. And this can actually unpeg. You can see that there are these two giant pins here, and that's because these pieces can fold out to the side, and you can pull out this wheel. So this can actually come out, and then we'll just close this back up. And then you can take this, let me see, which way does this go? I think like this, yeah. And then you can pop out these blades, and then you have kind of like a shuriken weapon. He can just kind of hold this in his hand if you want. Maybe the other side? Yeah, the other side. It's a little difficult to get it to spin just because of clearance. There we go. But he's got this crazy spinning blade weapon. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's weird that it's not in the directions. It does show it on the back of the box, but it doesn't mention it at all in the directions. The other thing you could probably do if you wanted is pop this on here and kind of make like a club out of it or something like that. Or kind of imitate like Rhinox with this spinning machine gun type thing. So you have a couple options there, but I just thought it was really weird that it was not mentioned at all in the directions. I'm just glad they put it on the box, because otherwise I wouldn't have known about it. So I'm going to put this one back, and then we'll get into the transformation. Alright, so to start off the transformation, we are going to take the head and just pop it straight down into the chest like that. The panel actually starts here and folds straight in like that. Then we're going to take the arms and rotate the wrists 180 degrees. Now, I don't know if yours is anything like mine, but the wrist had kind of like, you know, the little nub sometimes that it's hard to get it to turn in there. But after I turned it a little bit, it kind of wore smooth, and now it's kind of back to normal, so that's good. Then we are going to use that 180 that we talked about, and the hands will kind of go over top of these spikes. They don't really super peg in or anything, but they kind of just like use it as a guide to keep it in place. Like that. Then we are going to use these hinges here to rotate these back, and these tabs here will kind of fit into these areas here. So we're going to pop this around, and that will kind of peg in there. And then this will come around, and that will peg in like that. Just kind of straighten it all out. So this is kind of becoming like the engine block down here. Then we're going to rotate this 90 degrees, like so. Then we are going to put these pieces out to the side here. Actually, I think I want them like this. So kind of bring the wheels out to the side. We have to take this foot piece here, flip out the two little handlebars, and then just rotate this around 180 like that. So what we're going to do is there's actually a hinge in here. Now this can be difficult, and I'm going to take this off just to show you what I mean. There's a hinge in here that you need to get this to go back like that. And for whatever reason, when I try to do it when the leg is attached, oh, that one actually worked okay. But I was going to say, it can be difficult because the legs separate there. So sometimes it's easier just to take it off, do that, and pop it back on. Except now it's going to make a fool of me. Of course. There we go. So as you're bringing this in, there are the tiniest two little nubs right there and there. And they are going to kind of just rest in these little channels here on the side of the crotch. So as we're bringing that in and collapsing it down, it kind of just, I mean, it doesn't peg into place by any means. It's just kind of a guide. But you do see that there are 2 tabs right here and here, and they will sit on this inside section of the forearm. Let me bring this back out so you can see these things right here. So be careful, because at first I was trying to tab them into the outer ones, and that's not correct. You want to use the inner ones, because I was kind of pulling the arms way too inside and it was not working out. So bring this down, and then this will kind of tab in there and in that one and that one. There we go. Okay, so now that's all tabbed in. You can kind of just angle this how you like it. Something around there. Then this one, we're going to do the same thing. This is going to collapse down. This one's much easier. Then you just bring this down. The foot actually just stays up like that. I was surprised as well. So we have this, and it's good, but it gets a lot better because we're about to shore it up a lot. So we're going to take these, and we're going to peg this here into that, and this here into that, and this really cements the bike mode and really holds it together, I think, really well, which is nice. So these pieces peg on the side here, and that really holds it together nicely. And then for the last touch here, we're going to take these pieces and peg them into, let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yeah. And this is why I noticed the problem, because when I was trying to peg these into the wrong notch, it was like pulling these too far away. So you want to make sure that these kind of rest naturally the way they are right now, so that you can drop these in like this, and then flip this around, and you can see that there's a tiny little tab right there, and there's a little notch. So this is going to come up and peg into this notch. I do have these upside down. I thought I did. You want to use this one. There we go. So you can see that is in the notch right there and also pegged into the fist. It's nice because it covers the fist as well as securing the bike a little bit more. So it's kind of serving a dual purpose, which I appreciate. That way you don't just have robot fists just hanging out there at the bottom. It's such a simple little thing, but it really does hide them well. And there we go. We have our bike mode for Crashbar. Now, I've looked around on this. I don't see any kind of a kickstand. And you would think he wouldn't need one because he's very wide. He kind of like, he'll just kind of naturally fold to the side, which is fine. I kind of wish there was a way to just keep it straight up, but it's not that big a deal. But yeah, this looks really fun. It rolls pretty well. You can kind of hear it makes a weird noise there. But it's nice. And like I said, I really appreciate these pieces because I feel like they really solidify the back of the bike. And then I really like these pieces here in the front because they hide the hands and also kind of solidify the front of the bike. So it's pretty solid. I mean, when you have everything pegged in together, it's pretty solid. And he looks great. Again, you got the flame effect up here. You got the exhaust pipes down here. I guess these are supposed to be like, they almost just look like saddlebag type things, but then also you could pretend they're thrusters because they have these over here on the back. Just all in all, I think it looks really good. It's a really nice, solid bike. And the other thing is that you don't have to take anything apart to transform it, which is something that they've kind of kept true for these Junkions that I really appreciate. Because the way the weaponizers used to work, you have to completely disassemble them, then kind of maybe you transform individual pieces slightly, and then you have to build it back the other way like Legos, and I didn't really care for that. Scraphook was the same way, that you can completely transform them without having to take them apart, which I really appreciate. So I really, really like that. I think this one's even more successful than Scraphook. Scraphook was good, but there were times when you were trying to get the arms into place in the back that the arms would either come off, or it was easier to kind of take the arms off, position them, and put them back in. I feel like this guy, I mean, I know I did that a little bit with the legs, but I think the more I transform it, I won't have to do that. And I think this just really works well. And it's just a great looking bike mode as well. I think it's really solid, and I just really like the look of it. I think this guy's a lot of fun. I mean, he's a solid deluxe on his own, even if you take out the Evo Fusion component to it. He's just a fun Junkion character. Love the head sculpt, love the paint applications, articulation's nice. I just think he looks really, really cool in both modes. It's a fun transformation, holds together well. I will say that it holds together fine on its own, but when you add these two pieces to the vehicle mode, it really shores it up. And it's not always great to need external pieces, but I don't have a problem with it because, like I said, it's fine on its own. That just makes it, I think, a lot more solid and cohesive, and honestly just kind of fills out the look of the bike. So I really like it a lot. Again, with the Evo Fusion, I didn't really dive into that too much. I feel like you guys know how that works. The box was very concerned, and the directions were very concerned about me combining him with Scrap Hook into some large car. Which, I mean, if you love that, by all means, have fun with it. You could really make some crazy Junkion creations. You could buy multiple of these and go to town. I just don't really care about that all that much. I thought about showing him as like a weaponizer with another deluxe, but I kind of feel like you guys know how that works too. And honestly, at the end of the day, I don't even need all that. He's just a solid deluxe. It's a good looking robot. It's a good looking vehicle mode. I really like the design, the color scheme. So that kind of component of it isn't even really that important to me. I do think it's funny though how he has the wheel weapon that they didn't even talk about in the directions. I think that's kind of weird. Luckily, they did show it briefly on the box, so I was able to figure out how that works. But that's a really cool accessory as well and gives you some more options. But if you really want to, you know, take this guy's arms and legs off and build something crazy with it, I mean, you guys know how to do that at this part. I feel like you don't really need me to demo that for you. So, I think this is a great deluxe. I definitely recommend checking him out. Don't really have much to complain about him, honestly. He holds together well. He looks great. Yeah, this guy's just really fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.